However, since the time it was passed, it has been allocated a quarter to each one. A quarter to senior citizens and a quarter to stormwater, which means stormwater has been underfunded and senior citizens overfunded. And so we need to repay around $500,000 to the stormwater account out of the senior citizens account. And unfortunately, that means we cannot provide the grants that each group has asked for. We have a plan for paying back. We're making an immediate substantial payment back right now out of the transferring it from the seniors to stormwater, and we have a plan for getting the balance paid off. All out of those funds. It's no new taxes or anything. It's just taking money out of existing accounts and putting them in the right places. So we would like to put forward a recommendation or a proposal that we fully grant the V&A request at $12,500. That for the Ministerial Alliance Helping Hands, we grant $75,000. And for the Oaks Nutrition Center, $45,000. And part of the consideration for the Oaks and Caring Council is that is a very large organization that runs a number of centers across the state, and they have a little bit more places to kind of spread the money that they collect around than the Helping Hands is all just for Kennett. So that is our recommendation: $12,500 for V&A, Helping Hands $75,000, and the Oaks $45,000.
Do we have that in the motion?
That is a motion.
Second. On the motion, we have a second. Discussion.
I do have one question. How did you come up with the numbers and place them in those spots?
We looked at need. V&A, that was their request. It was a small request. They do a lot of help for Kennett and the surrounding area with hospice, home aides, companions, things of that nature. The Ministerial Alliance, when Stephen Scheer was here presenting, he said they feed, I think, 200 seniors a month, and they have a waiting list of more than 100. All these people are below the poverty line. They needed the additional funds for coolers and some of the things they need in their building just so that they could feed more people. And these were people with, great need and no other resources, all seniors. For the nutrition center, we just felt that it's, part of it is, I don't know, if Randy, you want to weigh in here.
$90,000.
We paid them 90. We finished off their payment for last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just all they requested.
Yeah.
They've been, the money that they've received since the beginning has actually been more than what the whole tax should have been received coming in. So,
I was just.
no, well, I mean, no, but they've been receiving about almost $25,000 more than the tax should have been receiving. So we felt like that we hate to cut anybody. We all, programs are great, but that so much money had gone to them that we would try to do at least this once with Helping Hand. See what it is. A lot of their money going to Helping Hand is going to be in capital improvements for the facility. So we just felt like cutting the request.
So can I speak?
Sorry.
So was Virgie Place help with that, with their grants to keep her business going
We did not receive a request from them.
for Virgie's?
No, we didn't receive a request. Right. These were the 3 requests that we received for this next coming budget year.
Mr. Swain in business.
Now, Bill?
Okay, it's obvious that the Helping Hand money is staying all in Kennett, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And, okay, the Oaks money, all that's staying in Kennett, is that correct?
Yes.
The V&A money, is all that staying in Kennett, is that, so all the money?
Well, let me clarify though.
Sure.
More people come to the nutrition center who maybe do not live in Kennett proper. And the same for V&A, and I'm not certain about the Ministerial Alliance. There may be other people in the community outside the city limits who do come here.
I just wanted,
Yeah.
I might have not heard everything I want to hear, I want to make sure all that money's staying in Kennett.
Well, no, they don't check
Sure, I
address,
understand.
you know, I mean, it's local
Okay.
services.
And I was just gonna say, Mr. Swain, when we check back, what we had, written to the Oaks in this budget year was $35,000 is all that we had paid them this year, and that's why we're paying that 90,000 now.
I'm
So,
gonna get, I just wonder where you got.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
No, we need that, we need discussion.
You know, the Aging Alliance, or the Council on Aging, is a multi-million-dollar organization based in Cape who does these allocations, and that was factored into the decision.
And for the audience, Mel, this is, I don't know, I think you might have said that, but this is senior citizen tax. And so, all three organizations, they're the only three
Yeah,
organizations
they're
that came
right.
to us. So,
yeah, she helps everybody.
which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wondered what she included with it.
All right, any more discussion? Everybody good? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, last item on new business, IT bids. In your packet, you do have 2 bids for the packet on IT for the city. One, Thin Blue Technologies. Get my figure. Thin Blue Technologies comes in, they have 2 scenarios. Scenario 1 is all the departments. Scenario 2 is taking out street and humane department. So scenario 1 from Thin Blue will cost $89,232 a year. Scenario 2, Thin Blue, oh goodness, let me work that number up. If you multiply that, and I'll come back to scenario 2. Let me get that. We have a bid from the city, CLGW, for the same services. And we do have a representative from the city, Mr. Allen in the back. But their bid price is $29,748. So a significant difference. Did you get that scenario 2?
84,552,
84,552
yeah, for scenario
for
2.
scenario 2. So scenario 1 is 89,200, and then and the scenario 2 is 84,552, and then CLGW is 29,748. I've been assured, we've been assured, council, that that's the same services. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Allen, but we're going to obtain the protection that's for the IT services, it's like we're receiving now.
Yes, everything should stay relatively the same. We will probably move some things around, but yeah.
All right, so do we, in order to have discussion for this, do we have a motion?
Well, I think we can discuss.
Have discussion now with pricing?
Yeah.
So let's have discussion now, without the motion. A little bit out of Robert's rules, but we'll live.
Obviously, there's a big difference in the money of the two, which, and I've sat in on the meetings with the City Light Gas and Water, and they've assured us that they can provide the same services, but for the life of me, I can't understand why there's that much difference if you can provide the same thing, why it's so much cheaper. You know, the cheapest price is not always the best price. And so I don't have the correct answer or the questions to ask as to why it would be so much cheaper. Could you enlighten me at any? I know there's license to be bought and there's IT to be taken care of, and I know you guys are fully capable of doing that. I'm not questioning that at all. But do you have any idea why there would be so much difference in the price?
And would you please come up to the podium
Yes.
so everyone can hear?
Don't want to put you on the spot, but I have.
I appreciate the questions. What I can say is probably the main difference between us and them is we already have personnel in place that are already taking care of Sea Light Gas and Water's, you know, internet needs and, you know, functionality of the departments. With us already having that in place, the cost for us to just take care of another section is not as high as devoting everything into one project. So the personnel's already there.
I wonder if one difference might be that Thin Blue is a privately owned for-profit enterprise, and CLGW is more of a public service or utility. I mean, I think your profit is capped at a certain number, and that could make a difference in terms of, you know, operating expense or overhead. I don't know, but it just occurred to me that might be part of the difference.
And I know City Light Gas and Water are reaching out to help. I understand that also. I just can't understand what the difference is that much.
Well, I'm not 100% sure on what all he is bidding out.
Right.
He might be bidding out hardware and things like that, but.
This is software and subscriptions. This is basically the same that we're getting from the other company. Google or Windows subscriptions per computer item.
I think we were gonna try to move everybody to one type of mail instead of spreading it out to two different types. We can just have one that we can just manage all together.
And you guys will back up daily the information, and we'll have a record of everything that we need from past history also, is that?
Yes, yes.
And that was my question, can you guarantee that our, you know, stuff that's passed will be saved?
Yes,
And
we
will be
will
tracked up and accessible?
We will treat this the same as we treat our own. We will
Okay.
back up daily and, you know, offsite drives.
But I mean, when you
Now,
say back up,
what
they-
about the data and the records and everything that we that are archived now that we now have?
Right.
Will we be able to retain that? Will we be able to retrieve?
That is, if everything that is stored now will stay. I'm assuming that everything's stored locally.
I don't know.
No,
No.
Thin Blue has Thin Blue.
That's part of their wind down procedure, correct? Is getting all the
Yeah.
information
Okay,
from
okay.
them to whoever takes over, is what they told us the
At
other
a
night.
charge, at a charge.
And those backups, I think it was like about $41,000 for those backup phones.
But anyway. That's my fear, is that I'm worried we're gonna lose some of our archive stuff.
Anything that we retrieve or we receive from them, then we would store that as well.
Any more questions?
I don't know if we have, who has questions? We get back.
We're not going to have that.
I have a question. So, this is the question to you feel like Gas and Water. So, when you say that the data would be stored, would it be accessible? So like, are you truly gonna migrate their data to a server where they can access it and see it, or is it gonna be stored? I think that's what I'm asking.
That is the plan to make it accessible,
Okay.
all the data that they have.
Okay. And then as far as any type of like failover strategy, so like if there is some type of an outage, like does your plan include like a failover plan, or is that just standard?
What do you mean by outage?
So like if there is some type of computer outage, is there like a downtime or a switchover type strategy or something like that if there's a problem?
Well, all of our technicians are local, so if there's anything that happens, we would be able to address it immediately.
Any more questions for them?
Yeah. Kenny?
Okay, right now, under Thin Blue, we get services after hours, let's say 8 or 9 o'clock at night, we're having problems with this particular program. And Thin Blue will just remote into that particular mobile and fix it right there on the spot. Well, we still have that service, where we can still call after hours, and on weekends, we don't get to shut down, after Friday. We have to stay going all week long.
Yeah, with Sea Gas and Water, we operate 24 hours a day as well, so if anything happens, say with sewer or gas or electric, they are able to contact us. We also will be able to do that for the city. Our internet service cutoff time is at 10 o'clock. We usually stop taking calls at 10 o'clock because our guys have to sleep because they got to get up and work the next day.
So
I
late at
guess-
night, like after hours like that, I mean, sometimes on weekends, we got an investigation or something going, hit computer issue. We call Brad sometimes 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'll fix the issue for us. So we're not gonna have that service now.
The contract says there is after-hours service available.
That's what the contract says, but he's saying they shut down at 10 o'clock.
We do for our internet customers.
We don't get to shut down at 10 o'clock.
I understand that.
Can this not be tabled?
All right. If we're gonna speak, we're gonna come to the podium and speak.
Can this be tabled until another time?
No, sir, it's not. It's costing us, here's the reason why we're voting on tonight. June 30th, Thursday, before July 1st, she gets an email at 3 p.m. saying that we're gonna cut off your services tomorrow, if you don't pay $7,500. Now, mind you, the price came to us a week prior after a council meeting. We cannot approve this without council's support. So this needs to be voted on tonight, or we'll have another $7,500 fee. That's taxpayer money that's going to the company. So it does need to be settled tonight.
That issue does. That should be a 24/7.
Mayor, City Council, if I could, just as a department head, you're fine. Just as a department head, I think you need to be looking at, like Excel, Word, things like that are prescription. I don't know if that's figured in CLGW or not. This gentleman may not either. We need to know about that. The other thing is, and he mentioned trying to get everybody into one centralized email. Speaking from past experience, 20 years worth of experience, this exact, we had issues with an email in the past, and that's why we went to the email that we currently have. We've almost lost federal and state grant money, and that's the reason we went with the email system we all currently share right now. So I would urge you, if nothing else, to look at that. I will back up what Chief Wilson said as well. The after hours, I'm not pro or con on either one. I'm just giving y'all something to think about. The after hours thing is a big thing. I know not only for my department, but for Chief Wilson, Thin Blue is here a lot. And just looking over the hours and stuff that's allotted, I'm not quite sure. Chief might be able to expand on that a little bit. I don't know, but I know Thin Blue's here at lots of hours, and I think it will exceed what we have set in place for CW. So just something to think about.
The app or the internet or the Excel, what you're talking about, is factored in here. $600 for 72 employees, which we've probably got way too many than what we need.
Possible.
It can go down below what needs to happen on that. I mean, the biggest thing I see on it, I see your point of view, but there was 105 service tickets from January 1 till July, when I got the information, July 10th, July 15th, let's say that. So there, 75 was on site, 30 was remote fixed. So that's what kind of service tickets we have from Thin Blue. We are looking at $60,000 difference. That's a significant amount of money, when especially we're in a financial crunch like we are. That's my only 2 cents on it. And personally, I like to keep the money in Kennett with our own utility that we own, and send it to Dexter, especially at $60,000 savings. That's my 2 cents.
If I may, Walt, all the information that's being put out here, I really don't care who we go with, doesn't matter to me one way or another, but Chief Wilson's talking about after hours, being able to get hold of people and get their computers to working.
Right.
I have trouble during work hours getting my computer to work sometimes. I've tried to program my two-way radios and could not get my computer to let me in because it was locked down by thin blue. But when I called in to get in there, it was over 30 minutes before someone got back with me. So I just went on something else. And there have been 2 or 3 occasions that I called and didn't get anybody. And it was 15 to 20 minutes before I got a phone call back from somebody that had to then call to find out what to do to help me. So it's just another point of view. I mean, we're all going one way there. I just want to put that out there also. So there's good and bad either way. So.
All I ask is, we all know we're facing a state audit, that it is going to be essential for us to be able to retrieve every record that we can. We also are facing 2 regular audits because we were behind, you know, our auditor last year last day, so we know all this. So we basically are getting ready to go through 3 audits with 3 people in an office to try to get through this. If for any reason data is lost with whoever we use, if it's lost, I would kindly ask that this body come and sit with the state auditors with us and help us explain what has happened. So whatever your decision is, it doesn't matter, but we would like to be some assistance with getting through that state audit, if that comes up.
So you would be worried about the information coming from Thin
However
Blue?
Yes.
Basically, the
However
information
we
from Thin
work.
Blue. Once
Somebody assure us, I think that is our, you know, I don't want to speak to Brenda and Tina, but I'll tell you, you can tell it makes me almost sick in my stomach to think about the importance of the state audit and the extreme importance of making sure that we have that data. However, we have to, you know, we may have to pay for that, get it transferred over to us, but that's for your consideration.
Well, if a computer crashes, I know some people that can uncrash it and find the information on it. They've done that at City Like Gas and Water for 30 years.
Well, as long as anything is archived, right now we have archives. Yeah, I don't know how far back you guys archive. You know,
We should have to pay
We're
for
not
it.
sure about the archive data, we just store what's given to us.
so that's my only, you know, just ask, yes. We well, you're right.
Doesn't guarantee, that's why you gotta back up to the back up to the back.
We're back, exactly, and that's what we have, you know, we know that system is backed up and backed up.
City Like Gas
archived,
and Water
whatever.
hasn't done anything like this before that I know of. But since we are a city entity, they're invested in it, you know, and I think they'll do a good job.
Well, I mean, again, if we need any assistance, who you gonna call?
They'll be
We
there.
gonna call y'all.
If you can't get a hold of them, call me.
I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about y'all
That's what I'm saying.
with the state audit.
She's talking about with the state
I'm talking with the state audit. I'm not talking about her, I'm just,
I can come up here and set
I'm the only one going to jail anyway, so it's.
That's
incorrect. On the paper.
Yeah, so anyway, thank you all very much for your
Yes, sir.
consideration.
Just for informational purposes also, we haven't budgeted for $89,000.
Go ahead.
So if we go with that, there's gonna have to be, money comes from someplace to pay for that.
Okay, any more talk? And this is worthy discussion because this is a lot of money we're talking about.
Well, I would just offer that when we were trying to get the costs from Thin Blue, you know, we made a request, we got an email saying what the costs were gonna be, and I asked for a real bid because I wasn't comfortable saying, let's do $90,000 on the basis of an email. And then we got these charts, and then I had more questions and sent a sample proposal of what should be in a bid. And we got a series of, email responses to the questions. So I just don't feel like Thin Blue took us seriously as a client of meeting our information needs to make a decision. Just my 2 cents. And also the being held hostage on a Thursday afternoon before a holiday weekend, saying they were gonna cut our service off. They couldn't give us a grace period at the current rate, but would give us a 30-day extension at the new higher rate. I just felt that that was not an appreciation of a longtime customer. That was not
That was
giving
very
us the
unprofessional
courtesy
of you guys.
that we deserved, so.
Can I say something?
Please do. No,
I don't like talking in front of y'all, but I'm looking and listening and watching and everything, and just thinking, it'd be nice to be able to have a problem with what you got or what you got, and not have to worry about calling Dexter and hoping they're gonna take care of it, which maybe they do every time. But by gosh, you walk over to Sea Light Water and say, take care of this right now, and you can grab them around the neck and get it done.
I don't think so.
That's I'm saying.
I'm just gonna make sure that they understand that sometimes that happens. It doesn't happen every day.
And they do too. I mean, they know what to do. Those guys are not, and this person that we're dealing with, at some point they were new to us, and we trusted them. They're from Dexter. I mean, it's not don't trust away from Dexter, but it'd be nice to be able to walk across the room and say, hey, fix this. Pretty simple.
Mayor, I have a question. I'm a little bit confused. They keep talking about our information. Is it not stored on the computer?
It's on the
On the
server.
server.
It's on the server.
our server.
This is not on our server.
Yes, that we own.
So we have that access to that, correct?
We're talking about the archives,
It's like on a cloud.
It's in a cloud somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's originally
That
from
should-
here, and they just moved to Dexter.
That should be put on, that should be archived on a server. The city owns or something, not a private person, I would think.
The other point of consideration that CLGW will store our new server and equipment in their facility, which I think gives us a little bit more, they have a setup designed for that kind of function, so it's not like what we would have in this building or someplace else.
Left side over here, y'all been quiet.
I'm not a computer guy, and I don't even know how to work it. But if we have a chance of losing that information, well, what's the real chance of losing that information? Can you answer that question?
Yep.
Without knowing where that information is or where it's stored, I can't realistically answer that question. If he was to give it or to transfer it to us, then yes, we wouldn't have any problem with
So would
losing it.
anything lost in transferring?
There shouldn't be. I mean, with file transfer, it should transfer everything.
It's our information.
Right.
Okay,
So if we move from Thin Blue to Sea Light Gas and Water, all of that information is gonna be transferred from Thin Blue to Sea Light Gas and Water?
At a cost, but.
At
At a cost.
At a fee, yes. That's what he told Brenda.
Well, he said normally it takes 3 months to do this spin down, I guess is what we call it. I don't know what it's technically called, but to get everything done and changed over, and we now have 8 days, 8 working days.
To make a decision.
Well, I
What
think
is
this,
the, excuse me, what is the fee that, so?
Ma'am,
if-
would you
if they
please come
don't-
up?
Sure, if they.
I just want to keep everybody,
That's okay.
so we can hear one voice tonight, not multiple.
and I'll just say Carolyn has a background in this area, so.
So if we make a decision to go with CLGW, which would be great, is Thin Blue going to have an additional fee, like if, if it's 30 grand or whatever that amount is, are they still gonna charge you like a data migration fee in order for you to migrate the data over?
They would charge us because they can't do it in 8 days.
Okay,
So
and what would that fee be? It would,
It just
does it
depends, I guess,
equate
on-
to the savings?
I guess it would depend on how many days it takes. You know, he didn't specify, but he said he's gonna do his very best to make sure that everything is done and available, so, you know, 8 days.
Currently $7,500 a month is what it costs a month.
That's what.
For